Hello, we're Team 7 and I would like to introduce our project from now on. First, let me give you a little background on why we started the project. Writing is one of the most important aspects in the modern world, especially since the widespread of the internet. Everything from everyday communications to hundreds of pages of papers take the form of text. As we were discussing the importance of writing, our conversation turned into Grammarly. Grammarly is a service that automatically corrects the grammar of your writing, making sure it's formatted correctly. So, if Grammarly can correct the formatting, we thought, why not create a service that corrects the content? Fake news is a serious problem in the current social and media landscape. With the development of the network, the internet has become a means of rapidly transmitting information, but it has also created a counter-reaction that promotes the spread of unverified information. This fake information can take many forms, from everyday posts to status, and especially its negative effects are magnified when it is scientific in nature. In addition, the nature of science makes it more difficult to distinguish between what is true and what is false. This is why we have developed a service called EthiFact. The main purpose of EthiFact is to quickly and easily verify the content of articles, especially scientific articles, to assess their credibility. EthiFact serves to improve the credibility of the content of articles just as Grammarly improves the format of articles. This will increase the quality of information and improve the accuracy of knowledge in society as a whole. There are several considerations we made when designing the evaluation methods. Here we introduced the two main concerns out of them. First, we had to think about the very notion of credibility itself. What can we call the credible text? Our initial idea on this question was to focus on two main criteria, which is reference and logicality, as we introduced on our project proposal. When choosing these terms, we tried to make an objective approach as possible. Another important consideration was one on user accessibility. The main reason we decided to develop EthiFact was to assist writers with writing in a more ethical way. One of the reasons writing well is difficult is that writers cannot get immediate, easy feedback while they are actually writing. More feedback are given only after the entire text is complete. We thought that is the best form of application to assess this problem is a Chrome extension, which is an interactive type of program accessible for almost everyone who writes on the internet. Based on such considerations, we developed the following methods to use for EthiFact. The first step on evaluating the references would be to create a reference tree, which is a data structure that contains information about citations and other references based on internet page links. We especially focused on digital object identifiers, or DOIs, as they provide an easy to access citation information when given an article. The tree building algorithm stops iterating once the reference tree reaches a certain depth or a reliable reference node. If so, how can we determine whether a node is reliable or not? The next page can answer this question. When browsing around for a model or dataset that might be helpful, we found a website that provides a wide list of endorsed journals and their rankings, as well as the list of untrustworthy or fake journals. Based on this list, we defined a golden standard of reliability so that we can measure a numeric score for each reference tree. The score would range from 0 to 100, which indicates the proportion of reliable references in the given tree. In terms of logicality, we planned on the following methodology. By using FactCC, a causal inference model in combination with a summarization model, we can evaluate how well the details in a text supports the given claim. The diagram below displays our basic idea on the method. Now let's take a look at what we've achieved. Keep in mind that what we're about to demonstrate is a prototype, and there are few loose ends we're still trying up. As you compose into academic writing, you're likely to pile up a large collection of references. With our extension in action, it seamlessly sifts through your reference list, offering a visual cue that reflects the reliability of your sources. Since this is an academic writing, we've designed platforms like YouTube and wikis as less reliable source. Rest assured, we're actively refining the system to provide even more intuitive information of your references. Underneath the surface, the credibility source scores is intricately calculated through the generation of a reference tree. This behind-the-scenes process ensured a nuanced evaluation of the reliability of your sources. As we mentioned before, our initial plan was to inspect the credibility of a text with two main criteria, namely reference and logicality. However, as displayed in the demo, we eventually decided to make some changes to the plan. First, we omit logicality from the evaluation criteria, and second, we faced the necessity to rethink the reference tree scoring algorithm. Let us elaborate the reason a bit more. One limitation of our current implementation comes from the fundamental difficulties of logicality assessment. Logicality is by itself a highly subjective term, which is the reason we choose causality as a relatively objective means of measure. However, even with that specification, inferring causality through AI is still a complicated task. FactCC is actually a very old model that came out before the advent of ChatGPT. Not only did its output format differ with what we desired, its accuracy was not satisfying for us to use for scoring. However, at the same time, we agreed that using more advanced NLP models such as GPT does not go together with EthiFact intentions. This is because AI models are essentially a black box. Even if we can ask ChatGPT to rate the logicality of a text and get some output, neither users nor developers cannot actually know what processes underwent in order to achieve this. Furthermore, there is no guarantee that such a choose methodology is ethical at all. And the next one is about scoring algorithm. During development, we faced the challenge of implementing a reference tree of DOI. The purpose of this system is to evaluate the credibility of sources and score the overall credibility of an article. However, in doing so, We had to take into account the limitation of the DOI itself and the contradictions between SCI publication and ethics. First of all, while the DOI system is useful for identifying scholarly materials, it is limited in that it does not include all types or sources. In particular, non-academic or non-traditional sources such as internet sites are often missed by this system. Also, studies published in authoritative journals like SCI are not always completely credible. In this text, we faced the challenge of how to score source reliability. Finally, I will introduce our plans and wrap up the presentation. First, we plan to improve our credibility assessment algorithm to provide more sophisticated and accurate credibility assessment. Currently, we only use DOI informations, but we will systematically evaluate credibility using more data. Moreover, EthiFact is primarily focused on assessing the credibility of sources, but as better API for analyzing sentence structure are developed, it will be possible to use them to more fully assess credibility. This is our presentation, and thank you for listening.